mind control has been used to commit the crimes and then instill fear and point the finger at other countries and call them terrorists, when mass programming began a long time ago. And I'm going to leave it at that, because if you go back to the video, and you're going to have to if you care, and I want to continue with that. I wrote about mind control back then, and Larry Flynt was shot, and I had antifreeze put in me. The very people, Larry McDonald, Congressman, doctor, I was telling about the murders of Warren and Rosina Matthews, who were forensic pathologists at Larry McDonald, the hospital there where he worked was urologist, Piedmont in Atlanta, and he's U.S. Congressman. And so he went down in that plane, and they almost killed me, let me put it that way. Now, Warren and Rosina Matthews were killed, from my understanding, what I could find out, and I wrote about them because they knew too much. They knew how deaths were made to appear of natural cause, create an illness or cure it. So they've had that since the Tesla files were stolen in 1930 or before, because King Ferdinand, it was taking out the monarchy. Ferdinand was shot, the person programmed to shoot him, and they took my dad out, Edward VIII. He never married Wallace Simpson. I doubled it, a double ganger, I believe they're saying. And this is my Aunt Georgia O'Keeffe. My father married Claudia Ruth O'Keeffe. My father, a beautiful man, and look at, kidnapped me, his own brother, George VI, illegal. Here with Roosevelt, who they're planning my kidnapping. This is 1939. It was taken, the year I was born. Kidnapped in 41. Roosevelt appointed Joe Kennedy, the Kennedy clan, as ambassador to England. 36. That's when my father became king, and my grandfather, George V, died. With all these murders happening, and some of them look of natural cause, that's the whole thing. Like they can make suicide, the person's programmed to make it look like he commits suicide when it's murdered, as if somebody took a gun to him. They just took programming and mind control to him. That's what happened in the Larry Flynt, and I was flown out there. I put this up so I'm not going to be redundant again. If you care to look at it, was on Facebook. They've got me blocked. They've even gotten to my phone now, I'm pretty sure. When you go to Google and you can't pull up something without, the site does not belong. And by the way, I did Google the, I've forgotten the name of it, Gigahertz. And my account was given to them, and I can't get into Facebook anymore. And they say that Facebook gets them to secure the site. Well, it's almost with what, obviously they haven't secured it. Gigahertz has got it. And it's like getting the fox to guard the hen house and all this. It really is. So I wanted to get to this because James Holmes, the mass shootings, and that's how they've been done, the Columbine, all of them. He has been treated, called mentally ill. He's not. Mental illness has nothing to do with mind control. And I want to reiterate here, in case I live and this is told. And I heard this on one of the talk programs also that reiterated about it the other night on Norrie's Coast to Coast. The man was on there with all the credentials, and they were talking about the United States. Well, they were referring back to Russia, back when they used psychiatrists for dissidents, somebody they wanted to claim or put away in shock, and they went into detail. They just claimed they're mentally ill and let the psychiatry community take care of it. And I'm going to refer you to this and no further in case this is ever told. One of the Virginia Tech here was a mind control shooting. The young man was from South Korea, the student. He ended up shooting himself. He was programmed to shoot, and that was done in patterns and can be proven too. But one of the following, the Fort Hood shooter, a psychiatrist himself on death row, he finished school at Virginia Tech, and he was actually born here in Roanoke, Virginia. Now, they gave me the name of the twin. What I wanted to get into here is I got the letter from the FBI when I was doing the book. It didn't get published because they put antifreeze in me, and I should have died. I lived in, you want to live in hell, that's a live in hell, let me clue you. But anyway, they sent me a letter, yes, Attorney Harper, dated June the 23rd. By the way, that's my dad's birthday. Of course, it was 79. And on April Fool's Day, they almost killed me of 80 with the antifreeze. Nothing was ever done about the ongoing hell and crimes committed. But the FBI, I'm going to put this on and hope I can get it up without, I have to give background to make it understandable, and then you have to go to another tape, and you wonder if anybody even cares, you know. They would, but you'd have to put it up on network television, the Rockefellers, Rothschilds, Bilderbergers, some of my own family, Elizabeth and Company, the illegal, and they're not going to do it. They kidnap me. That's why Donald Trump's trying to tell you about it. You better wake up, people. Donald Trump's the only one not part of the New World Order. Hillary has been photographed there. They won't let the press in. Elizabeth, certainly, and Charles. My God, my own family have kidnapped me. They're part of the Jews and the Kennedy clan, the New World Order, global. Now then, let me get to this before... they're using mental illness, by the way, promoting it as and calling mind control, which is a weapon, and it's invisible, but the ones I've spoken of are deliberately done by this agency and in patterns and can be proven. Now, whether it's swept under the rug, I don't know. It certainly looks at it at this time. What I wanted to do was, though, I went back to the FBI. I had been down there and been around them when I got the letter during that time and just prior. So this is, I'm back down there and they're role playing. So what do you get from this picture? I go back, I'm on the street and I'm still having, I had brain damage and I'm on the street and I'm called the FBI and I thought the man I called, Special Agent Michael Kean, was not the real Michael Kean. Later I found out. But the man I talked to was someone that, let me say, I admired very much. He's blonde, and I later saw him on the Barclay commercial in People magazine and all that later. But anyway, this is true. You don't find him anymore. But anyway, this is going to go out. I went back. They told me if I'd come down there, they'd see me. I went down, and finally I waited and waited. They came out, and they role-played. Don't let me forget Sajak was one of the agents I had known prior to this. And the one I thought was Michael Kean, they come out, and this Michael Kean's short. And you laugh when you're in hell, because if you don't, you would scream, okay? He comes out, and they tell me they can't talk to me now, that they only have time to talk with VIPs or heads of state. Yet they spent 20 to 30 minutes walking around me, talking to me, and then I left. You get from it, I'm a head of state. I found out in 83 about being kidnapped. My dad's Edward the Eighth. My mom's Claudia Ruth O'Keefe, sister to Georgia. And this was all a lie, all of it. Wallace Simpson never married my dad. She married an imposter, a double ganger, if that's what you want to call him. So I wanted to get to this, though. Later, I went back to the FBI office, and this would have been 82, and the agent came out, and he said, this was in Atlanta, and he pretended to be bored. He yawned and all that. And he said to me, he said, you know what people do with what you're telling them? They're bored. It's only when they find out how it affects them that they care. Now I'm going to go out to after I was out at Flynt's in the campaign. And I want to, I still had the car. He furnished me for a year, and I was actually pumping gas at Rhinica's gas station in Grottoes, Virginia, with the car parked. I didn't have money. I was pumping gas to live. And I'm going to go blank. Oh, Yeah, Noe, Agent Noe had retired supposedly, and he's up there, and he comes in and out and